Movies often tap into deep philosophical ideas. Lucy invites viewers to ponder not only the nature of consciousness, but existence. At the end of the film, Lucy has achieved 100% of her brain's ability, which allows her to transcend her physical body and exist everywhere at once. Put aside the misconception of the 10% usage theory. Neurologist Barry Gordon informs us that we use virtually every part of the brain, and that most of the brain is active almost all the time. As rocket scientist and mathematician Olympia Lafont notes, it's not that we use only 10% of our brains, rather it's that we only understand about 10% of how it functions. Anyway, in the movie, Lucy has basically become one with the ever-present energy that makes up the universe. She has apparently uncovered the mystery of existence and downloaded that revelation into a medium capable of being read by human beings, a USB drive. The movie taps into the relationship between mind and body, which is a topic embedded in human thought for centuries, if not millennia, through Hinduism and the ancient Greeks. But it was René Descartes who popularized the supposed duality of mind and body for the Western world. He argued that the human mind is non-physical and exists independently from the human body. But he could never reconcile how a non-material thing could interact with the material world. It fell to Baruch Spinoza to posit that mind and body are inherently the same, that they are only different manifestations of the same underlying reality or substance. For Spinoza, this fundamental reality could be called God or nature, and is usually similar to the type of non-intervening and deistic God mentioned by the founders of the United States. In essence, Spinoza came to a conclusion already reached by Hindus several thousand years earlier. Basically, that everything in existence is part of the same underlying source. Today, like in centuries past, many religious people believe this source to be God. Those with whom the idea of a creative being or force does not resonate might refer to that eternal source as energy, the same energy theorized to be the essence of all particles in existence. Whether people are theistic, deistic, or atheistic, they tend to acknowledge some kind of essential source. In the film, as Lucy's brain reaches its supposed peak, she escapes the need of a body, her consciousness becoming one with the universe. Whether she reached some kind of nirvana in the Hindu sense, or glimpsed Spinoza's underlying reality of the universe, or became one with the universe's energy, she had the sense of mind to transfer her revelation to humanity.
Life was given to us 1 billion years ago. Now you know what to do with it.
But in order for this statement to be true, it seems to require an answer to perhaps the fundamental question, one whose answer might exist well beyond the human mind's ability to uncover or even comprehend. Why is there anything at all? People have contemplated this question for thousands of years. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle famously posited the unmoved mover as a solution, but it was Martin Heidegger who pinned the question as the fundamental issue that drives, or up until his day, had driven philosophical thought. He phrased it like this: why is there something rather than nothing? To many who understand the question, much time has been spent contemplating a possible answer. For any explanation, a paradox seems unavoidable. Any attempt at an explanation assumes an answer to one of the following questions. Can nothing create something? And can something have always existed? Here lies the part that drives many people mad. Either nothing can create something, or something has always existed. Both seem ridiculously impossible, but one has to be true. Thus lies the paradox. Of course, both religious and non-religious people try to use this paradox to their advantage. However, this is where atheists and theists should agree. There can be no provable or falsifiable answer to this question. At such a distance from what can be sensed or modeled, everyone operates from a position of ignorance. Moreover, theists and atheists seem to mostly agree on the answer to the fundamental question. When confronted with the paradox, both theists and atheists assume, or perhaps even believe, that something has always existed. They just disagree on what that thing or things are. Theists assume or believe that God is the thing that has always existed. Atheists tend to assume or believe that space, energy, and universal laws are the things that have always existed. Neither of these positions can be provable or falsifiable. They are foundational assumptions upon which human beliefs rest. Sometimes, foundational assumptions that are formed from a lifetime of study and contemplation. Of course, this understanding won't do anything to ease arguments between theists and atheists. But I hope that, eventually, arguments between theists and atheists evolve beyond the point where opposing sides label the other as irrational. From a starting point of ignorance, and without a more clearly established theory of rationality, such a label has no place in the discussion. So after next month's post, which will analyze the climaxes from X2 and The Last Stand, I'll likely be taking a few months off from making videos. I'll be traveling, working on a screenplay with a friend, revising one of my novels, and lastly, submitting one of my sci-fi stories to publishers and literary agents. What would help my chances of getting signed by an agent or publisher is if my novella had more sales. An Evil won a publishing competition 2 years ago, but I haven't put any real effort into selling copies. So, that's what I'm doing now. If you like horror, mystery, and suspense, especially stories with religious undertones, you'll like An Evil. One reviewer on Goodreads compared it to The Conjuring, if that helps. So far, reviews have been positive, and I've priced it as low as Amazon will let me. 99 cents for Kindle and $5.99 for paperback. So again, if you like reading fiction, or if you just like to help me out, click on the link in the description below. Buy a copy and give it a read. If you're up to it, a review on Amazon would be even more helpful. Thank you all for your support, for watching this video, and for subscribing to this channel. I'll see you in a month. Until then, have a great day.